Welcome to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. These are casual chats with visiting artists. Creaky barn, bugs, and all. Enjoy.
Hello, this is Conversations from the Barn. I'm Chris Everett, and this afternoon we are honored to introduce you to Saymoukda, who has been here this entire week for her artist retreat, and we're excited for you to get to know her work and what she has been up to. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Welcome, we're so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to be here. It's been a huge gift, a huge light.
How has your week been?
Sometimes I'm a writer, but sometimes I don't have words to answer that question because it's just all feelings in my body, and I don't know how to explain it.
What is your body saying? How does that feel?
That, but 10 times. I feel lighter. I feel rested and really inspired by all the things that I've been reading from the artists that were here before me. So it's been affirming, and it feels like I did a lot of the things to get here, and the here is where I'm supposed to be. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just
That's great, but it's hard to be away from family.
It is a bit hard. But it's also good to be away from them because it gives me time to focus, and there's like that, we need that uninterrupted time away.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's great, but he's a lot.
I wonder about the balance between parent and artist and partner and the kind of support that we need to be able to do our work and all the other roles that we play in our lives, and the way that while those roles can be distractions, they're also the things that feed your most creative spirit at the same time too.
Yeah, that's true. When I write my plays, I try to base things off of what's already happening now, and then I just kind of add elements of zombies or elements of sci-fi and horror into it to make it feel more of a world that's difficult to navigate, right? Even though real life right now can be weird to navigate.
Feels like a zombie landscape a little bit.
Already, yeah. With cannibals trying to get at you.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're working on this week?
Yeah, I would be happy to. I'm working on the prequel to this play I wrote in 2013 called Kung Fu Zombies versus Cannibals. And that play was basically about a young woman who is tasked with taking her parents' ashes back to Laos, and she's trying to just grieve in this world where there are zombies and there are cannibals. But the play is really just an allegory on how war has really disrupted the lives of Laotians during the Vietnam War. The U.S. committed a series of bombing campaigns, which made Lao the most bombed country per capita in history.
Wow. So
that's the first play. And so this prequel that I'm working on is called Kung Fu Zombies versus Shaman Warrior. And it's about a young Ka woman, which Ka people are indigenous to Laos. And she's just trying to figure out why the world went to shit. Because all of a sudden there are zombies that know Kung Fu in Laos, in her village, and they're attacking everybody. And she also is living with mental illness. And so how does she live and survive in this world where she has to navigate the real monsters that are out there and then a lot of the monsters that are living inside of her. So it's fun. It's a comedy.
Well, I think about the time that we're in that just feels like we're full of zombies and monsters and things that are unknown, and how valuable it is to be able to hold that with some humor and some perspective too. Yeah. It has to be feeding into your work in this moment in some way.
Yes, it feels really timely. It feels, I sort of feel like I'm being some sort of like documentarian or whatever, but I haven't actually been thinking of the coronavirus when I was writing this prequel. But I am thinking of how people have been treating each other. We're not allowing each other grace to just be how we need to be. Some people really do need physical touch, and they need to go see their best friend. And I think that we should allow them to do that if they're wearing masks, of course, and like they're like far. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're careful.
There are ways to do it.
There are ways, yeah. So just the way that we're treating each other now it's very exhausting in my heart. Like just ugh. There's another sound.
How has this place and nature supported your work or even your emotional state?
I think it was so good to just be in a place where you're surrounded by things that are older than you and older than a lot of things that you know in your life. This barn is like over 100 years old or something, right?
Right, yeah.
And the land, the moss, is older than me, probably. I feel so small, and I do imagine zombies coming out of, the trees swinging when we went walking up on the path where there's like a canopy of trees, and I imagined zombies coming down and like, what's up, bitch? Like all that. And then Lisa and I would have to fight our way out.
Right.
But then when Lisa and I got to the pet cemetery and we sat down and we just had like this very deep conversation about grief and about what it means to be visited by those who love us and the energies that it take to communicate that love. And so that has been like a really big theme for me this week is love and receiving love. I felt it in like within the first 20 minutes when I got here. I received this huge amount of love from the artists that were here in the notes, from the postcards that you and Bill wrote, and like I think Lisa really helped set the tone too when she brought me into my little cottage, and she slowed it down, and I was like, yes, slow it down for me because I'm such a quick, fast person. So it's really slowed things down.
What do the zombies represent for you?
Particularly in the play, the zombies represent the unexploded bombs that were dropped on loves that were buried under the land. A lot of them didn't explode. And so after many decades, like zombies, they reanimate. And so they maim and kill people. And so to me, that's what the zombies represent. But then there are also, my friend and I made this joke that there would never be Buddhist zombies, Lao Buddhist zombies, because the Buddhists cremate the dead. And so the zombies are like other ethnic people.
Yeah.
And she's like the Hmong? I'm like, yes, like your people. No offense to the Hmongs. But, unlike the cannibals are also in my play. The zombies don't have really a choice. They're just kind of, I think they just kind of go along with what's built in.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. We're so aware here of the spirits of the land, the presence of nature, and the conversation that nature gives to us. It is a participant in our day-to-day life and in the way that we hold people and the way that we set energy and our intention. And then nature has its own intention and its own way of holding that's bigger than us. And I'm so curious about this idea about zombies and cannibals, because there's something spirit-centered in that. A spirit that wants to go on, a spirit that is hungry for something, a spirit that lives beyond body and laws and even against nature at the same time. But we also feel and try to honor spirit, all of those that have come before us. And I think about all the three sisters from the original farmhouse.
Yeah.
And, you know, the family that built the farmhouse that we're in. And all of those spirits and beings that feel very alive to us.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, I think, who have been here.
I just want to say all the stuff that you said earlier is so beautiful about the land and the spirits and all that stuff. And the first full day that I had here, which was Monday, I took a book of poetry by a Lao poet from Canada. Her name is Suvan Kam. And the book is called Clusters. And I brought it over to the three sisters' house, and I put the blanket down, and I told them, thank you for letting me be here. I want to read you some poems.
Oh,
And I said that out loud to them.
love
And
it.
I felt goosebumps all over my body. And I heard crickets going. And then I just started reading, and I would read, and I would cry, and I would read, and I would cry. But thinking about zombies, something that I really wanted to, I guess, write and figure out as I was writing and see it play out on stage was how the audience was going to react to humans, like the regular humans' interactions and relationships with the zombies in the story. And some characters would have compassion for them and some would not. And some would try to actually use them as weapons, right? But one character, a Buddhist monk character, understood that what Sika, who is the protagonist, she's been going through this whole world just slicing heads because she needs to get rid of them, because she needs to purge the earth of zombies.
Yeah.
And has been feeling so much guilt because she's like, oh my gosh, they're people's families, and I'm just not thinking of them as people. And one of the monks says to her, well, I want you to know that you're giving their souls the chance to get reincarnated if they wanted to. So that's what you're helping to do. So think of it that way. And so that's how I feel like even if they are zombies, they have souls. They matter.
Yes, right.
We may not know what they want. They can't communicate. They're like toddlers. They can't communicate what they want. They don't have the words, you know?
Yeah.
And so they use their emotions and all
Yeah.
that. So, yeah. Zombies are toddlers.
I love thinking about them that way. I'm curious about your orientation to nature.
Yeah. I always feel like I'm not that connected to nature until I get to nature. And then I'm like, oh, to be here.
Yeah.
I'm a city person. I mean, I live in the east side of St. Paul. It's not that urban, like not that city. There's no concrete all the time. But, and my friends tell me that I have a black thumb. I'm really bad at gardening and keeping things alive. But snake plants. Actually, I've managed to rotted some leaves on my snake plants. But I'm trying.
You have zombie plants, don't you?
I do have zombie plants.
Yeah.
I just still love them. Just give them another chance.
They'll come back later and haunt you.
I wouldn't mind. I feel belonged, but I also feel like I'm visiting. This is not mine. Like no land is mine.
Yeah.
You know. Even like I feel Laos, I call it the motherland, but I feel like I'm some sort of motherland orphan to it. You know, like I one way that I was using to explain this feeling or this identity to myself was referring to myself as a motherland orphan, because I wasn't born in Laos, which is my mom and my dad's motherland. I was born in Thailand in a refugee camp, but because of the stories that they told me and the food and the language and the music and the art, all that shit that's been wonderful in my childhood.
Yeah.
That's what's making me feel tethered to the motherland. So yeah, there's like this sense of like belonging, but not. I don't know how to explain it. It's
Yeah. It's complicated.
It is. Yeah.
I have a really dear friend who is from Latin America, from Mexico City, and moved to America. And she talked about being Mexican American. And she said actually she lives in the hyphen. She isn't Mexican and she's not American. She occupies the space in the center, right? Where she's a little bit of both, where she wants to hold on to tradition and she wants to hold on to motherland.
That's so profound.
Yeah, it's a hard space to be in because you're in the hyphen, you're in the center, you're not one or the other, and so you're not really sure what you are.
Yeah, I see like the hyphen being like these outstretched arms, just holding things together.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's also an idea about Mother Nature, Mother Earth, right? Mm-hmm. That regardless of borders or nations or nationalities, that we all are born of the same earth, that they help a little bit.
I think, and then, some Buddhists, there's also like this little sprinkling of like animus in us too. Like we believe that's objects, not just objects, but like nature, like trees, they have souls and spirits and things like that. And I think, like animals and insects, you don't harm them unless you have to eat or something, but you don't harm them, you let them live. You respect that because their spirits are stronger than yours. They're from an older realm.
How have you experienced beauty today?
I think what I'm hearing right now is very beautiful. And I don't understand what the birds are saying, but I feel like it's not mine to fully understand. And I just have to listen and just enjoy it. I think it's beautiful when I'm looking outside of this barn and I'm seeing the leaves taking on different shades, the way that the sun's hitting on them. Some leaves are gold green and some are dark green and then some are gray. So it's really beautiful. And the leaves are fanning in the wind, so it kind of makes me want to go out there now. Bye, Chris. I'm done with this.
Okay, you're done. We got to wrap this up. Thanks for taking the time for this. We're so happy to have you here, and we hope you come back.
Thank you.
So nice to know you. Thanks for this time.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks for listening to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. Our theme music is provided by John Mark Nelson. Wishing you all good health.